We will have more on that in a moment, but right now we're told that a news conference is ready to start in Los Alamos with fire officials explaining exactly what's going on right now.
Invite all those that are being in the shelters. Bus transportation will be provided to those individuals wanting to come up to the meeting. And Governor Martinez is here as well, as so is the Secretary of the Environment. I will first like to ask Governor Martinez if she'd like to make any comments. Governor, thank you for being here as always.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to make sure that we shared with everyone that all the resources that are necessary to battle this fire have been made available. Since the first day, we made 80 National Guard available just in case there was going to be an evacuation of Los Alamos. As we know, the fires move quickly, so we had to make sure that we were prepared. We also made sure that State Police, New Mexico State Police was made available, so in case of that evacuation, it was done orderly. We now have 2 Type 1 teams in the state of New Mexico, which is the first time this year that we've had a Type 1 team to attack the fire from 2 different directions. They bring greater aerial support, which will really help us attack this fire. Again, we are prepared to make sure that we attack this fire with the most resources possible. I also ordered an air quality testing in combination with EPA. They will be testing the quality of the air. We have equipment that is on the ground. There will be an aerial flight at about 1:30 that will be grabbing samples of the air, and we're going to make sure that once those results come in, that they are going to be placed on the New Mexico Environmental Department website so that the public is well aware of what data is being collected at all times. It may not be available immediately because it is sent to an independent lab for testing to make sure what is contained in those samples, but keep in mind we have about 30 from the State Environment Department on the ground, as well as the aerial one that is being done jointly with the EPA. We've been visiting White Rock. We're going to visit White Rock today at 2 o'clock and Cochiti at 6 p.m. today. I have been at the shelter in Santa Clara now 3 times. It's a good thing for us to constantly be in contact with people. What do they need? Are we meeting their needs? We've got a lot of calls lately from from folks around the state that say, how can we help? What do we bring? Food, water, for the the firefighters that are working so hard, for the volunteers, what can we do? Please contact the Red Cross and contact the Salvation Army. They're the best ones to assess what they need and how they need it, because not only are they providing services here, they're also providing services, for example, down south of Mayhill. We have an mandatory evacuation that is going on there as well, and so that they can spread their resources where they need them. They're the best ones who can determine that. We also, just for information, in this fiscal year, which is from July 1 of 2010 to June 30th, or June 29th today, of 2011, we have had in New Mexico 1,012 fires, and burn acreage is 712,700 acres have been burned. As far as in the last 6 months, we have had 803 fires that have been reported, and 477,800 acres have been burned. So what we're asking also people to do is stay away from the burned areas. I know we want people who are curious, they want to see what's happened, what's burned, isn't burned. If you don't have any business in the area, stay away. Allow the people that are working there, whether it be National Guard, State Police, making sure that the homes of the evacuees are safe. Don't go around the burned areas just to be a looky-loo. It's not beneficial to people who are working there. I also have issued a state of emergency today, which supplements my executive order that was filed on April 22nd. On April 22nd, I ordered that there be no fireworks whatsoever to be used on state land. That is the only authority I have as governor, and I cannot prohibit it in municipal areas or in county areas. I also ordered state police to be added to the forces that are existing now between now and the 4th of July throughout the state to enforce any restrictions that municipalities have put in place, and so that we make sure that there aren't any fireworks that are being used that have been restricted by the municipalities or the counties. And I am also asking New Mexicans, please do not purchase any fireworks. Do not burn any fireworks. Do not use any fireworks this season. Go to an organized, larger display that is safe, that is supported by a county or a city or something like that. Do not do them in your neighborhoods. I mean, all you need is a rocket, one of those fireworks that goes up onto someone's roof where they have dry leaves, pine tree leaves, something like that, and we're going to have a fire in a neighborhood. We have to be safe this year. You heard the numbers of how many fires we've had and how much acreage has burned. Please be safe. Please be responsible, and we will continue to make sure all the resources that are necessary, all the resources that are necessary to fight this fire consistently are available to the state of New Mexico and to the federal government that is also participating with us, and we thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. And now we'd like to hear from Chief Doug Tucker, our fire chief.
Good afternoon. I wish I had better news. I've got good news. I wish I had better news. First off, Governor Martinez, thank you very much. What you're doing is making a difference. I just got off the phone with Senator Udall. His support's here. He had another meeting with the Secretary of Agriculture, so he could not be here. But what the smoke you're seeing right now is a black line. And a black line is an effort to build a space, a defensible space next to 501. 501 is kind of like the north-south corridor for the laboratory. So what you see now, they're trying to burn it from both ends. They start at the south and the north, coming off, remember I talked about Pajarito Canyon. They're coming off Pajarito Canyon with this black line in an effort to tie into State Route 4, so we have a black line, a defensible space as such. We're trying to expand that. Once that's done today,
Can't hold the map up. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so thank you. Once that what we're talking about is this area right in here. This is where the fire. The red is the border of the fire. This is a division, and the Forest Service currently is burning down this line, and then they will take and come up here with a dozer line to tie off. What this doing is giving us the ability to protect the town site. The fire is moving up towards Santa Clara Canyon, so it's moving north. All of this in this area is old Cerro Grande burn, but there's heavies down, and right now the dead and down is running about 3% fuel moisture. That's as dry as you can get. I've never seen it that dry. So what it's doing is it moves forward. We want to protect the town, because last time when the Cerro Grande came through here, it came across here and then dropped into town. So what the Forest Service is doing, that Type 1 team that Governor Martinez was talking about, is coming in here and trying to brace it off and give us a line here to protect it. At the same time, down in White Rock, because of the way this thing's moving, they're doing the same type of activity to where there's a road down there already. They're gonna go and take a dozer in and give us a dozer line to protect White Rock, and then tie that in to State Road 4 down at this area. So the whole effort is, as this thing keeps moving, get out in front of it, build some lines, and have some contingency lines so that we can fight this fire. I will say right now, White Rock is in no danger. We're not talking evacuation or anything. This is all contingency. Los Alamos has been evacuated. We are not letting folks back in till we know for sure that we're not going to drop fire back in. The issue isn't fire necessarily coming in as much as spotting. We are seeing spotting today predicted between a half mile and 2 miles. The winds are picking up. As you're sitting here, the winds are starting to pick up. They're steady out of the south. That's the good news, because it is taking it this way. So as long as they don't come out of the west, we're in good shape. Even if it comes out of the west, we have our engine companies in place protecting structures on both the Lano site and the town site. Right now, we're running in this area. We're running crews in there looking to pick up any spot fires that happen because of this defensive action that's been taken at this time. It's a little hotter today. We're supposed to get some recovery tonight, so there'll be some humidity. We'll get a little higher humidity tonight, which would be good, but we are in our prime burn period right now. So from now to about 4:30, 5 o'clock, up to 6 o'clock, last night at dusk, they were dropping water on this ridge line that they're burning out right now. So everything's in alignment to burn right as we're speaking here right now. So this is a critical line that they're punching in today. It'll take them about 2 more hours to finish that project, and then once that's done, this will all be burned out, and we'll look for spot fires in that area. Almost the same activity that happened on State Route 4 that held. So that's what we're looking to do. The Forest Service is doing that right now, the Type 1 team with the crews from out of state. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. And the council members just came back from the tour, and we did see all those guys working on those brake lines. Thank you very much. Next speaker is Charlie McMillan, LANL Director. Charlie.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm Charlie McMillan. I'm the Director of Los Alamos National Lab. There are three areas I'd like to discuss for you today. One, I'd like to give you a bit more information about the air sampling we've been doing at the laboratory. I have preliminary results I can talk about today. Second, I'd like to give you an update on the prevention work, fire prevention work we've been doing at the laboratory yesterday and today. And finally, just say my own view from the laboratory about the preventive fires that we're working on right now. Before I go into those, though, just let me remind you of what I said yesterday. There's been no change in fires on the laboratory property from what I told you yesterday. We had one small fire, put it out quickly. Nothing has changed on that. Second, the reminder that our facilities, our nuclear materials are all safe, they're accounted for, and they're protected. So let me now turn to the three areas for today. Air sampling. As I told you yesterday, we have about 60 air monitors that are here in the region, and I asked our teams to deploy our high-volume air monitors. We've had 4 of those out now, and we have an additional 7, I believe, that are going out in the next day or so. The reason the high-volume monitors are important is they let us collect a lot of data very quickly so that we can understand what's happening, and if we see changes, we'll see them quickly. Last night, we took one of the samples from these air monitors. We divided the sample and sent part of it to an external lab so that we don't have any control over what their analysis is. Took the other part of the sample, had our lab chemists do the analysis on that. I had the results this morning. Those results show that what we see in this fire is exactly what we see in any fire across New Mexico. After the Cerro Grande fire, our scientists went and studied fires around the state, and we're seeing just the results we'd see in any other fire. There's no additional material in the sample from lab activities or from our waste management activities. So to me, that's very encouraging news on the air sampling front. And of course, we'll be comparing our results with the results that the governor talked about, that I know EPA is doing. But I thought you should know what the initial results are. The second has to do with our fire prevention activities. Yesterday, I told you that I had asked our teams to go out and do additional fire prevention activities around the laboratory and to start first in TA 54 around Area G. That work started yesterday, has been going on this morning, and I asked members of my senior team to go out and look at that to see what kind of condition it was in. So if you want, in the question section, if you want to talk to those guys, happy to have them say a few words about what they saw when they went out this morning. Finally, just a word on the preventive fire that Chief Tucker talked about. That fire's, for me, about 4 minutes from my home. So I can kind of understand how lab employees, citizens of Los Alamos, might feel a little nervous seeing additional smoke coming up. I've hiked in those hills, so it hurts to see additional fire there. And I will say that Tucker, his teams talked with our fire professionals at the laboratory, and they all agree this is the right thing to do to help protect the city of Los Alamos and to protect the laboratory. So painful, I think the right thing to do. Again, let me say thank you to our neighbors around who are helping to house the people of Los Alamos, the people of the laboratory. I'd also like to say thank you to the firefighters who've come in to help us with this. The other night, I went into the Hill Diner for just a few minutes, and I met some of the firefighters as they were coming in, and I got a chance to thank them personally. These folks are doing heroic work for us, and I very much appreciate it, and I appreciate as the lab director the protection that they're providing for an important national asset, the laboratory. The laboratory that not only cares for the stockpile that the United States has, we provide work that's done in verification and validation of treaties. We work with the IAEA to help reduce proliferation risks around the country. We help provide energy security for this country and the rest of the world. That's the asset these guys are helping to protect. It's a very valuable asset. Finally, to the people of the laboratory, I know you're wanting to know when you'll be able to get back to work. I know what you're like. We're going to be making a decision about whether the laboratory will be open on Friday this afternoon, so we'll get that out to you in a press release and emails so that you'll know. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have with us NNSA Director Kevin Smith.
Good afternoon. I'm here today basically to assure New Mexicans that the Department of Energy and the National Nuclear Security Administration is fully engaged in supporting this activity at all levels within the department, that we have and are bringing outside assets and resources for air sampling, independent monitoring, aerial assets, and all kinds of additional resources available. And as the governor mentioned, I get constant requests from everywhere for additional help. So the Department of Energy, and on their behalf, the National Nuclear Security Administration, I just want to assure folks that we are fully engaged and team partners in the lab and this interagency activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And now I'd like to ask Randy Audio, our county administrator, to come up.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you all again. Once again, our status is Chief Tucker has explained so well. He's a hard act to follow. The town is safe. White Rock is safe. We are still continuing patrols of houses, and the houses are safe. The real issues are utilities are still on. There's been some reports that utilities are not on. Utilities are on, so that we're able to continue those services. We have been on essential workers only for the last 3 days, so like the lab, we will be making a decision on when it is safe to return to a normal work schedule. We may be bringing some more people in as we need to ramp up services, so I just want to assure the citizens that their homes, our town, are being taken care of, and thanks for their patience. Anytime we have news, we will get it to you. I just want you to know that if we're not doing news releases quick enough, and I want to know too. I understand your concerns when you're out there and you're not at home. When we have new information, we get it to you immediately. Okay, so I just want everybody to know that. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to ask our police chief, Wayne Torpy, to come up and discuss some safety issues.
Thanks. Good afternoon. I didn't know I was speaking until a couple minutes ago because everything is really stable, and the evacuation efforts that we spoke about so many times have been successful. We're very comfortable that our residents that evacuated have saved us a lot of work. We're still holding somewhere in the 100 to 150 folks that we believe didn't leave the community. But the bigger concern that was expressed to me a little while ago that I want to assure the community of is that we are patrolling the entire county of Los Alamos, not just the Los Alamos proper area here on the top of the hill, but White Rock also has 5 times more patrols in it every hour than it had before the fires. We were given an additional 30 to 40 guardsmen this afternoon rather, that came up from the New Mexico Air National Guard. They've also brought comm units with them to set up backup radio communications. The state police are in force and in the community. I will tell folks that if you're those who have stayed in town, although we don't have a curfew established in Los Alamos right now, all patrols that are out at this time are instructed that anyone moving in the community that's not readily identifiable as press or law enforcement or fire are being stopped by our units as they move through the community to be identified and to ensure that they are here legitimately and not victimizing our citizens. So anyone with any concerns about what may be going on here at night, although you don't see a police car, I will tell you I got stopped twice last night in my unmarked police car while I patrolled the community. So please be secure that people are not rummaging through our community that do not belong here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Torpy. And now we'll stand for questions. And where's our fire chief? Because Doug, you better get up here. You know there's going to be questions of you. You cannot. You can't run it. And we may need the map again. So any questions?
You have been watching a news conference and update from Los Alamos on the Las Conchas fire. Now, the governor started out things saying that she had issued a state of emergency today. Then Chief Tucker, who is handling the fire from Los Alamos, gave us kind of an idea of what's happening there. They have created what they call a black line. That's a perimeter, a barrier for that fire along the north and south, moving north to south along the Santa Clara Canyon. Also, he said White Rock, no evacuations are planned, but evacuations have not been lifted in Los Alamos. They're really watching spot fires today because of the winds. Those little tiny embers can float anywhere from a half a mile to 2 miles, so that's really what they're focusing on, spot fires.
We also heard from Charlie McMillan, who is the head of the Los Alamos National Lab, and he says nothing really has changed there over the last couple of days. No fires on the lab property. The sensitive materials are safe there. They want to reassure everybody about that. In addition to that, he said they have monitored the air in the area and have discovered that it's just fine. It is no different than any other air that might be in a similar type fire everywhere else. And so he says that is fine. They're continuing to monitor that. And we heard from county and city officials who said everything is safe there. Everybody's doing a good job, and the communities are under control.
Right now,